Welcome everyone to the 8th grade chorus concert. I would like to thank you so much for being here tonight. As you may have noticed, I'm not doing honors. My name is Jordan Jones. I've been the chorus long-term sub for the last few weeks or so while Lauren's been on leave. It's been such a privilege and a pleasure to have the opportunity to work with the singers here on the stage. They've been very kind, very funny, very chaotic, and it's been a great time getting to know them and getting the chance to connect with them. The theme for tonight's music is the darkest nights produce the brightest stars. You'll hear motifs of endurance, perseverance, and hope. These themes remind us that even and especially in dark times, we must persist in difficulties. To create change and to build a sustainable life, we must always find our way back to the light. Up first are the Sub-Harmonics singing A Sky Full of Stars, originally by Coldplay, arranged by the 2026 Sub-Harmonics, featuring Ian and Dion. A Sky Full of Stars compares the beauty of a loved one to a starry sky, in like a Shakespearean shall I compare thee to a summer day kind of way. While the loved one in this song could be a literal person, it could also represent a new phase of life and greater energy. feeling of coming back to oneself after a period of hardship. How even when you feel lonely, like you're drifting away from others, and are overwhelmed by the world, you can find a way back to yourself, and can start to feel yourself again. This is Bring Me Back to My Heart, featuring percussionist Chase. Overtones singing Does the World Say, featuring Adele and Brit. This piece discusses themes of not feeling enough and reaching out to others in times of need. In a world that's focused on outer excellence, looking a certain way, having a certain lifestyle, it can feel easy to feel like you're never enough. What makes us human is that this experience is a shared one, and we find relief in it when we find solace with each other.
Does the world
And I See the Light from Tangled, arranged by the 2026 Overtones, featuring Melissa, Lily, Mandy, Dora, Lucy, and our wonderful percussionist, Olivia. This method shows the glorious dichotomy of our emotions, both longing for change and wanting to make once you try.
Don't
With our combined groups, you'll hear two pieces. The first is Where the Light Begins, featuring Henry. This piece discusses themes of hope and peace and using light as a metaphor for understanding and connection. The poet of this text poses the question, where does the light begin? And by the end of her poem, she answers it. Perhaps the light begins in us. of the night. I know, it's over so quickly, it's crazy. I would be remiss not to thank those who deserve their flowers. First, I'd like to thank our wonderful administrators of the entire Performing Arts Department here at Wellesley Middle School, especially Lauren Sorosino and Allison Madden. Thank you for my many questions and being eternally understanding and supportive. I'd also like to thank our AD staff hand for being chronically kind and very helpful. I'd also like to thank all of you. Without your support, these students would not be here. Neither of us would be here. And in times of great social upset like the ones we live in, the arts over young people find their greatest peace. And I cannot thank you enough for your support in all of their endeavors. And finally, I would like to thank the incomparable Yoon Jung. She has been a total rock star. Ever since I got here, she has answered every question. She has anticipated every need, every possible thing that could go wrong. She sees it before I see it. You have been wonderful to work with. I cannot thank you enough, Yoon. And she's also a monster of a musician. It's crazy. It's just such a pleasure to work with you. I really do appreciate it. And with that, our final piece is called Persevera et Supera, which is Latin for persevere and overcome. The text declares that fear is in the mind and that courage is in the heart. In order to persevere and overcome, we must then listen to our hearts and be the people that make change.
I just really want to thank Teacher Jones for being one of the greatest substitutes that we've had. In such a short time, she's made us sound like really good, and especially one of our final concerts. And I want to thank her them so much for doing it.
And Miss Young for being an amazing pianist for the past 3 years and for rocking us our final concert really great. Thank you so much.